All right. Well, welcome to our only in-person training session this year for third-year exemplars. I hope this particular session will be a benefit to you. You'll get something out of it. We'll try to move fairly quickly here to leave some time at the very end if you have questions. All right. I plan on being done by 3, if not before then. All right. So we're going to start with Gmail, and before we actually get into some of the enhancements that has been made, we need to make sure that we all have adopted the new version of Gmail. All right, and as I look around, I'm thinking some of us have not made that leap yet.
Nope.
Okay, so if you have not, I'm going to show you how to get the new Gmail. All right. Yeah, this came out months ago. All right. Maybe it flew under your radar.
I normally, it looks like that. How do I know?
Okay, well, you'll know. Let me explain how, okay? If you click on this gear, it's on the right-hand side, all right? You have the new version if this option is displayed. Go back to Classic Alcoa City, okay?
It says try the new.
Then you want to try the new, okay?
That's good.
If it says try the new, let's try the new. You can always go back if you want to, all right? But I'll be training on the new version, okay? So you might be a little lost. Just a little bit, that's right. Okay? Yeah, and when you try the new version, you'll be asked a couple questions there initially, and you can always change those options a bit later. But what I want to try to get you all to do today is to make Gmail work for you and display the way you want it to, whatever works best. Now I'm looking across the classroom and I'm seeing some different layouts here, and I'll tell you that this particular layout for me, which is a split view, works really, really well. All right, and the way it works, I have in my first column here my messages, and then I see them previewed over here on the right, actually the full message. All right, yours might not look like that. In order to get to this view, you're going to have to go to your settings. All right, so let's start there. All right, so how we get to settings in Gmail is just by clicking the gear icon. All right, and that will be what you look for in all the other G Suite apps when you need to get under the hood and change some things. All right, so we'll click that icon and then go to settings. All right. Now, all the way over on the right there, you're going to find the advanced option. Okay. Let's click on that, and this is the key right here, preview pane. That's what you'll want to go ahead and enable if it's not. All right? So choose enable, and then you'll want to make sure you scroll down to the bottom and then click save changes. All right? All right, when you do that, Gmail should reload and you should see a new view. Okay?
I had to click on a toggle button. It puts a toggle button next to the gear.
That's right, it does. It does. It puts that toggle button on there. That's right. And you can switch back and forth. But you're not able to do that if the preview pane has been disabled. Okay? Okay, you're going to, let me explain what we're seeing here. Yeah. That is, did you go advanced?
No, I don't like the preview.
Preview pane. There you go. Click that and then scroll down. Scroll down and check same changes. There you go. Now it'll reload, and now you'll see the change. Okay. This little icon right here will allow you to split views. Okay. When you apply that change, you're going to see a new icon here. All right. And if you click on it, you have a couple different options. You can go no split, vertical, or horizontal split. Okay, so notice if I choose horizontal split, it'll put the previews on the top and then the messages on the bottom. All right, and you can also adjust how many messages are displayed by putting your cursor right there in the middle. And you can drag that little divider bar up or down. Okay? And when you release, it basically saves that view. So whenever you close out of Gmail and then come back, it'll hold that. Okay? And you can quickly switch back to no columns there if you want. Like I said before, I prefer the vertical split. Yeah. Another way you can get some more real estate on your screen there is to collapse the menu on the left-hand side. Okay? So you see the three bars just to the left of the Gmail icon? If you click that, it'll close your menu. Now you'll only see the icons. See that? And yeah, with those hidden, you can actually just hover your cursor over the icons and they'll reappear. You can make them permanently hidden, or if you want them to stay visible,
How'd you do that?
okay, you just click the little menu icon right here, and it hides them, so you only see the icon. Then if you just hover, they'll reappear. Okay? And again, this is just a way for you to customize the look. All right? So it works better for you. Okay. We've talked about setting up filters and how that works. That allows you to basically have Gmail organize your mail for you. That's fairly easy to do. In case we've forgotten, let me go ahead and demo how filters work. So let's say, for me, I want to go ahead and set up a label. Remember, a label is going to be a folder, essentially, in Gmail. So I've got an email up here from Jody Blair. She's our librarian. And I want to assign a filter so that whenever I receive emails from her, they automatically go to a certain folder and they don't stay in my inbox. Okay? So you can watch how I do this, and you can do this to anybody. Okay, I'm just choosing hers. So what you'll want to do is first select the mail. All right? And so to do that, we're just going to check it right there. With it checked, you'll click on your dot menu, and you'll see filter messages like this. All right? If we choose that option, so it says from J. Blair. All right, and I have some other criteria I can fill in, but I don't want to add anything else. Any message from her, I want to go ahead and send someplace. Okay? So I'll just say create a filter. All right, so I don't want to see it in my inbox, so I will skip the inbox. And I'll apply a label. So a label, that's going to be over here on the left-hand side. Those are all my labels. See those? Those are essentially folders. Okay? Let me come back here. Oops. Okay, here I am. So I'm going to skip the inbox. I'm going to say apply a label. So I can choose from all my labels here. If I don't see a label for her, I can create a new one. Okay, I'll just say Jody Blair. All right? And if you want it to be nested in another folder, you check that option and then choose the top level folder. Okay? I have a folder that I've called it sorted, and so all of my labels go in there. Right? So it's like a folder in a folder. All right? So that's where it's going to put it. I'll click create that label. And then if I have a lot of emails from her, this little option is handy. Also apply filter to matching conversations. So it'll go through my inbox, and any email that I've gotten from this user, it'll apply that rule there, and it'll automatically put them right where I want them to. Okay?
You don't know, you have to go in there to check and see if they're in there. You don't, it's not going to alert you that she sent one?
Well, what it'll do, Steve, is if I have my tags visible, if there's a new message that comes to it, it'll be bold. Okay, so for example, Steve, if I leave this open, this is where the tech support tickets come to me. I have a filter set up. You can see that's bold. That's my cue that, hey, there's some new emails in there. All right, so there's lots in there, all the support tickets. Okay, Those have not all been assigned to me, by the way. All right, I'm not ignoring those. All right, so that's how your filters work. Okay?
That's super cool.
Yeah, it works. It's a great way to organize, automate the organization of your emails. All right, now you can, of course, go ahead and set up labels and do this manually. You know, we have a drag and drop interface here, so I could find that label. There it is, Jody Blair, and see if I took this, I could just drag it in there. All right, you could do that to multiple emails too. If you had a bunch of them, so you could put them wherever you want. Okay? See how that works? And we deselect them. Now, if you decided, well, I want to set up a filter, but I don't have any messages in my inbox from that particular sender. No problem. You can just go to your settings. All right, so just like before, and some of you probably have already done this, you can click on Settings, go to Settings, and then you're going to look for filters and blocked addresses. All right? All right, and so what we want to do is just create a new filter. Right down there at the bottom, create a new filter. All right? So let's say from my principal, okay? Becky Stone. Okay? Subject has the words. Again, I could enter anything there that I want to. Create the filter. And then basically, what do I want to happen to the message when it comes in? That's what this screen is all about. Okay? All right. We all clear on that? Okay. And that filters have been there for a while, but I just wanted to revisit it because it's so useful. At least for me it's been. Okay? Here's a new feature that I like. It's called Snooze. Some of you probably know what this feature actually does. So let's think in terms of clocks right now. You have an alarm clock. You have a snooze feature. What does that do? Tells it to shush. But it doesn't turn the alarm off, though, does it? No. Yeah, it says just... Yeah, it delays it. Yeah. Okay. And you have a snooze feature now that you can apply to your incoming messages. But you have to enable it before it appears. Okay? Before you actually see that feature. Now, you see on mine, the snooze feature is going to be represented by a little clock. All right, if you don't see that little clock icon, all right, it's because you haven't enabled that feature. So let me show you where you get it. All right, and your conversation view has to be on. All right, so let's turn that on. Again, let's go to click on our gear icon. Okay, and then we'll go to Settings. And I believe it's in the General tab. You need to make sure that Conversation View is on. All right. Once it's on, you should see that. Okay? And don't forget to save your changes. Save your changes, it'll reload it. All right, Conversation View. And another thing about Conversation View, if you don't have Conversation View turned on, it's going to be a lot to keep up with all the messages you have coming in. All right, Conversation View basically puts them all...
Where they respond back and forth.
Right, yeah, right. It basically makes one email containing all the sub-emails inside of it. All right, so yeah, I strongly suggest making sure Conversation View is on. Okay? If you haven't already. Okay? So once it's enabled, how does it actually work? All right, so here's what you can do with a snooze. I've got this one from Jody. It's kind of important. I want to be reminded of it a little bit later. Got the email selected. I'll click the snooze icon, and I can say, all right, bring it back later today, tomorrow, later this week, or I can pick my own date and time. Okay? Might be useful.
I don't think so. You should have these.
Okay?
Can that be set on a recurring thing, or is it just kind of a one-time kind of snooze thing?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's a one-time thing, yeah.
Kind of like, hey, it's just
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it. Yeah. Yeah. Another useful feature that came in recently, it's called a nudge. Okay, and so if you have some messages sitting in your inbox that you've taken no actions on, it'll remind you and say, hey, this person sent you an email, do you want to reply to them? All right, so again, you have to enable that feature. All right, so where are we going to go to enable something? Settings. We'll go to settings. Okay, and then settings, and then it's going to be right here in the general tab, the first tab. See, it says nudges. Two options there. Suggest emails to reply to, suggest emails to follow up on. Okay? Maybe some of you have seen that in your inbox. Okay? But it's handy because, you get busy and sometimes you
There's so much email that comes in.
need to be reminded. Oh, and another thing about email, staying on top of it, if you've replied to an email, delete it. Get rid of it from your inbox. Okay? Because remember, you always have that sent record too. And so if you're saving emails just because, I don't know why you'd want to save all of them, but at least you can always retrieve them, if you go to your sent folder. Okay? Or at least get them out of your inbox and move them to some other location. Okay? Michael Earhart, have you heard of the theory of inbox zero?
I've heard of it.
Is it real? Is it something that can be attained?
Not on mine.
No?
No. If you look at my dad's, he was in that.
Okay. Have you all heard of inbox zero?
No, but if I'm assuming it correctly, is that what Kim Hawkins does?
Maybe.
Kim Hawkins literally has the only emails that have come in the last 10 minutes sitting in her inbox, and that's it.
That would be inbox zero. Yeah, basically you have nothing in your inbox. Okay, as soon as it comes in, you delete it.
I'm not that.
Okay.
I would do
And
that.
you have to stay on top of it. All right. I flirt with inbox zero occasionally. It's been a while since I've been there, though. When I was back in the county, I worked with Glenn in the technology department there at central office, and we were trying to both it was a competition, trying to get to inbox zero. And I achieved it once, and I let him know via email. And of course, as soon as that, he sent me a reply email just to clutter up my inbox, so I could say I didn't have it anymore. But yeah, the more you make use of the built-in features that are here that automate things, the better able you'll be to manage your inbox. Okay. Auto replies is something that's pretty cool as well, and then there's canned responses too. And so I want to see if I can pull up an example. Here we go. Here are auto reply features that you might see as well,
Oh, yeah.
and these are based on artificial intelligence. So yeah, and so when you receive an email from somebody, it will read the message and suggest a quick reply that you can just click on. Then it'll compose it. There's the message, and then you can send it.
And sometimes
Okay.
it's good and sometimes it's not.
Some of the responses, the suggestions are interesting. I received one not long ago that was, the email was bad news. It wasn't, well, I don't know. But the suggestions that came back, one of them was, that sucks. This was from Google. I thought it was kind of amusing that it would use that. So you have those auto replies, and then you have canned responses that you can apply to. So, like for example here with Julie Bell, if I wanted to reply to her, I could set up some custom responses, and you can see those are available if you, in the compose window, you click on the dots, you'll see canned responses. And then from here you can create some, roger that, yeah. And then you can create one of your own, and then that way you can quickly choose it. And I think that's another feature you need to enable. So if we go back over to our settings, I think it's under advanced. Yeah, it's in the advanced tab. You would want to make sure that canned response is enabled in order to see that. Okay? All right. I do want to call your attention, folks, to the search feature in Gmail as well. So just know that if you're hunting a specific message from somebody, you can get really granular with your searches. All right, so that little drop-down arrow beside search mail is going to allow you to search to, from, subject has the words. All right, so you can really narrow it down in terms of the criteria for the email. All right, I just want you to be aware that that is there. All right. Or this is handy too. The date you could choose. Well, about maybe when was it added? Was it 3 days ago? Did I receive it? Is it over a year? That might help you as well. Okay. And I've seen the search capabilities really be enhanced over the past several months across all the G Suite applications. You also will probably notice you have a new sidebar over here on the right. Do you see that? Okay. That's handy because it gives you quick access to Google Calendar, Google Keep, and Tasks. All right, so if you pull that out there, right now I have the side panel. Actually, it was displayed, but if you hide it, you're just going to have a little button down there. Click on it, and then you'll see your controls. If you want to bring up Calendar, click the calendar icon. Here's your calendars. And you can choose to go to a different day. You can say what calendars you want visible. All right? And this is just you can even create events from here. All right? So you don't have to open up another tab, go to calendar. You can do this all on the fly.
Are we still doing on calendar, are we still reserving stuff on calendar?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And if you want me to go over that again when we hit calendars, I'm more than happy to. Steve. All right. So creating an event is very simple. So if I wanted to go to, say, Saturday the 22nd and create an event at 10 o'clock without leaving Gmail, I just click it. And then comes up my controls. I can even choose to edit it in Calendar if I need to. All right, so that has come in very handy, at least for me. All right, we're always complaining about how we don't have time to do things, and so here are some ways that you can give yourself some more time by saving a few steps here or there. Okay. All right, the two other things I'll quickly just mention. You've got your Google Keep notepad, which is right there. If you use Keep, I don't know if you all do. I do quite a bit. You can make a quick note here. And then you've also got Tasks that also integrate with Google Calendar. Yeah, so if you add a task here, you'll also actually see it in Google Calendar. We'll say more about that in just a minute. Okay, one last thing about Calendar, and that is I think I need to cover again sending attachments. All right, and so if I compose an email here, let's say I want to send a message to Michael Earhart there. All right. And I see a lot of people make this mistake. And when you send a message to somebody outside of an organization, you always want to try to send your content from Google Drive as an attachment as opposed to a link. Okay, links work fine inside our organization. Okay, but oftentimes when we send a share link outside our organization, the file we're trying to send doesn't have the necessary permissions, and so you get a response back saying, hey, so-and-so can't access a file, you want to allow it. So I'm just trying to save you a step here. All right, so in this case, if I want to add something from Google Drive, I would click on my insert Google Drive icon. Okay, here's some graphics I was working on. So, Michael, I want to send you some pictures here. All right, so in this case, I have the option to send it as a drive link or as an attachment. So if I just wanted to send the picture as an attachment, I would make sure I click on that attachment icon right there. Then it's going to attach it to the email, right? I don't have to click on the shared link and then open it up in Drive. It's there, okay? I just want you all to be aware of that, okay? Are you okay, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you sit there the whole day in front of this stuff, yeah, it's like... But I also like to play around with stuff. So if I see something new, I'm going to click on it and try to figure out what it does. Okay, so that actually is pretty easy there. All right. All right, any questions about Gmail? Okay, if not, we're going to quickly move to calendar.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you have a question.
It
Okay.
says it puts the little arrow if it's somebody you frequently hear from. The little.
Oh, that is going to be, oh, what is that called? That's in my settings, yeah.
But you can't mark something as
Yeah, you can with the star.
Yeah, you can designate emails, yeah.
when you're sending.
When you're sending an email?
Yeah, like something that's.
Oh, no, you can't. That's on their end.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't, control what messages that come to their inbox are important to them. They'd have to do that. All right, I mean, you could, in the subject heading, maybe say, important, don't delete, all caps.
Okay.
All right? Yeah. But that's another thing there, too, that was brought up. Starred, that's a great way to organize your emails, too. Kind of like favorites, okay? And it works the same way that they do in Google Drive. You star them, and then you can quickly get back to all your starred messages on the left-hand side by just clicking starred. See? Just like a favorite, and then you can unstar it. All right.
Isn't there a place in the settings where you can actually organize them before you can start things on the top and the others?
No. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe somewhere buried deep down there. I know you can change the color of your stars in the settings.
Yeah, but it seems like, yeah, organizing your inbox.
Well,
The
you-
star would stay on the top. Here? Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Well, but I thought I saw it in settings.
Well, you know, if you double click on the star, it'll cycle through all your available colors. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't use the color.
yeah. Yeah, Matt pointed out there's that little drop-down menu beside your inbox, and you can set some options there as well. So all your starred will appear at the top. Okay, so your new messages that come in, those will come in under your stars. All right, that's up to you. All right. All right, let's go to Google Calendar. All right. What is the address for Google Calendar? Very good. Very good. Well, and your Google Calendar may look different from your neighbors, okay? I hope it does. Oh, you know what? Do you guys know how to change the theme of Gmail? I forgot to do that.
Yes.
Real? Anybody not know how to change the theme of Gmail to personalize it?
Click the settings button. That's all I heard. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Look, basically, if you want to change maybe add a picture in your background or change the colors, that's going to be themes. Okay? I'm going to give you 1 minute to play with that. Okay? 1 or 2 minutes. So click on the gear and then go to themes.
Baseball.
All right, and then you can choose any of these stock images that are here. If you have Google Photos that you've already uploaded, you can choose those. Click on the gear and then choose themes. This is in Gmail. I'm sorry. And yeah, and you have default. You have some others down here that you can choose. Here's a high contrast theme. I've used that before. You like the high contrast? Yeah, high contrast is good. If you choose a picture, you have some other options down here you might notice as well. You can vignette the image. You can adjust the text background so your messages are actually easier to see. You can even blur that picture. So if your text is sharp, see? Oops. I'll go back to my default. Boring default. All right, 30 more seconds. All right. All right, go ahead and apply your changes, and then let's head over to calendar. All right, so let's quickly talk about views. All right, I am in month view, and that was a part of Google Calendar that saw a change. Your view may be different than mine. And when I first saw the changes, I was like, oh, how do you change the default view of calendar? So let's say I prefer week view. Well, how do I just set it so that it comes back? You don't have to set it. When you change it, next time you come back to it, it'll be like that. All right, so there is no default view anymore. It's whatever the last preference was set to. All right, so I just want you to see what some of these are. You've got day, week, month, year view now. That's a new one. See that?
Just go right up.
Yeah. So you can type in calendar or from Mail we have a, yeah, you should be able to click on the waffle icon there and then get to calendar. That's another way. Okay, so some new views for us. You're doing fine, Steve. We're here for you.
Colleen's not, she yells at me.
False.
Filter that out. Okay. I tell you, I have to have notifications to remind me of things. I live by my calendar, all right? And I'm going to show you a very useful feature in Google Calendar. All right, so you know on the left-hand side here, this is where you're going to see all your calendar. Yes, Steve?
So I put, like, I can reserve the Lyceum on the calendar, is that how I do it, or you do it somewhere else?
I'll walk you through that process. Yeah, you would actually reserve it for yourself. But you will take what is a resource that's available for our school system.
Don't put it on calendar.
Yeah. Let me show you. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute, okay, Steve? All right, so I was talking about notifications. So you have your My Calendar that has your name on it, and then underneath there is going to be all the other calendars that you have access to create events on, okay? You can see I've got several there. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to look for the dots beside your calendar name. All right, so let's click on those dots. All right, right over here. See the dots beside your name there, Steve? All right.
Oh, yes.
Okay, those dots, that's going to mean that we have options. All right, so from here we can change the color of our calendar. Only display this calendar, so if you've got a lot of calendars, I can't sort through all this stuff. All right, just choose display this only, and then it unchecks all your other calendars. Now you're only seeing your stuff. Okay? And then to get the others to appear, well, you just check them off in the list here. I don't need to see the cafeteria. Okay, I'm right now in front of me, so I can leave that unchecked. All right? But that's a nice feature. All right, display this only. It's right there. Okay? This is useful if you manage a lot of calendars. All right, but what I really wanted to draw your attention to here is the notifications and how you can help yourself. If you're like me, you got a lot of stuff going on. You can't remember things all the time, so you depend on notifications on your phone or email. This will help you. So go click on your three dots there and then choose Settings and Sharing. All right, and this will take you to the settings for that calendar. Okay, see, I'm in that calendar. All right, and you can see what a lot of these are, but I want to draw your attention to this section right here, Event Notifications. You may need to scroll down a little bit. That's where we're at. Notifications. Okay, see that? You have three types of reminders that you can actually apply to yourself. All right, careful. Boom. You have an email, a text message, or a notification. Notification is going to come within the app, or in this case, the desktop version of the program. Okay?
How do you get the text message option? 'Cause there's-
Okay, down at the bottom of General is where you can actually add your phone number. But if you have the app installed, calendar app, that'll
It's the same thing.
it's basically the same thing. Yeah.
I get it on my phone, but
Yeah.
it's text.
Okay, so you can say, hey, before events, I want to be notified 3 minutes before. Okay, if that's not enough, I want to get an email too. And on top of that, I want to have a text message. So
You can do that specifically to the event.
you could, yeah, you could set that specifically. So basically, this is like setting a default. But then when you go to the actual event, you can override that.
Yeah.
Okay?
What's SMS?
That's your text messages. Yeah. Okay? All right. We all clear on that? I want to address Steve's question here. And that is, reserving locations. And it sort of ties into one of the other features, which allows us to browse for resources. So if Steve is wanting to know, hey, I want to reserve, say, the Lyceum later on this month, but I want to quickly see if that's even possible. You see where it says add a coworker's calendar? There's a little plus symbol beside that, and if you click that, you're going to see browse resources. You see that? When you choose that option, it's going to show you, all right, here's all the schools in our system. Here's AHS. So you can see, Steve, I have all of these things checked on mine. All right, and so as a result, look at what I have on my calendar down here. So all I have, they're not showing right now, but if I wanted to see, say, the Lyceum, see, it shows me all the days that those are booked. See that? I'm right over here in the left-hand column. So when you subscribe to a resource, it'll display it down here under other calendars. And then if you want to see it on your calendar, you just got to make sure it's checked. That make sense?
Okay,
Now that's just a quick snapshot so you can
Right.
see. But if you want to reserve it, which is what I think your question spoke to, it's a matter of, let me get to October.
September 25th.
Okay, so if I said September 25th, I would click on the
10
day.
o'clock to 11:30.
Okay, I'm going to double click on the day.
Okay.
All right.
Trinessa Hatcher, please report to Ms. Downs' office. Trinessa Hatcher, please report to Ms. Downs' office.
Okay, so here I am.
You just
I'm-
click on the calendar.
I double click on the calendar. Yeah. That created the event. All right, now here I'm editing the event. You see that?
Yeah, but mine's not.
Let's take a look. Oh, no, you're, yeah, that's,
Colleen told me to do.
let's get out of settings. Yeah, right here. Let's close out of this. So the 25th? Okay, so you'll double click on that. There you are. That's where you need to be. Okay. So, yeah, double click to add an event. And then you can see, Steve, it's going to put it on my calendar, Tom Larson, right? Add conferencing. So if there was somebody who needed to join remotely that couldn't be there, you could actually set up as a Hangouts meet. That way, like right now, if I sent them a Hangouts meet link and I had my webcam on, they could actually be joining us. Okay? So we would just want to enable that. All right, then you can set your notifications to remind yourself if you want it. But over here on the right, Steve, that's where you want to focus, because that's where you're going to actually make the reservation. So see where it says rooms? And then you're going to look for, I'm going to click on AHS. All right, now you want to make sure that you've told it not all day, because if
Right.
all day is checked, there's a good chance it won't be visible there.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to say September 25th from whatever time I want. All right, and then I should be able to see it as an option down here, and all I have to do is just choose it, and it'll attach it. That's how I reserve it once I've saved it. Okay,
Okay.
that's it.
What about the time?
Well, the time when you uncheck all day, you have the option to choose a specific time.
Oh, up here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Tom, is there a way to get notified on only certain events? Like if you didn't want a reminder for every event?
Well, you mean events that? Yeah. You're going to go to your general settings and just turn them all off.
Okay.
So if are you good on this, Steve? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Let me discard that. You click on settings menu there, and then settings once more. And we should see it in here. Well, also for the, I think also if on that calendar, your My Calendar, if you just take away the notifications there, then it'll remove all of them. That's where you need to go. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so let me show you here, Cody. If I click here and then go to settings and sharing, event notifications, I'll just, see?
Okay, and so if I just want it from one thing.
For one thing, yeah, I've turned off all of them.
All of them, right?
Yeah, so they're all off, but then I could go to an event that I've created and turn it on for that one.
Oh, just for that? Okay,
Yeah.
got it, I got it.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right. I've had some teachers recently that needed to print calendars. All right, and you have some good options here to do that. If you click on the gear, there's your print option. Okay? You can choose the what kind of font size you want it. The print range. Okay? Did some of you all need to do that recently? Print calendars? Yeah, right there. Print.
And you can let,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can put notifications. That's how I sent you the notification about that.
Alright, let's see my junior achievement.
Another nice thing too that you can do whenever you're adding event details, folks, real quickly, we're almost done with the calendar portion, but whenever you create an event, if you're sending out an invitation to people, like I've sent to you, actually to attend this, you can include attachments that you might want to use during the training session, but you have a rich text interface here as well. All right, so you're able to emphasize specific information. So you can attach files, you can include links, you've got bulleted lists here, so they've really enhanced this part of the interface. All right, so when you receive that calendar invitation, it's not just simple text. You can actually emphasize things. All right? And, you know, whenever you, like if you're me, if you're sending out an invitation to groups, all you have to do to send your invitation out is just click up here. You can do it one at a time, or in this case, here's my exemplars. I can send out an invitation to everybody. Where are you guys? Here you are. See that? And when I save this event, it sends out the invitations to people. Okay? I'm going to discard this. I don't need to send that out.
so you just add this to
Yeah.
increase that.
Yeah. Yeah, you add guests. You can type in their email address, or if you've got a contact group that you've created, see? You can just click on it, then everybody gets the invitation. Okay? All right. All right. Let me close out of that. Last thing I want to show you in Calendar, and that is, again, I want to reemphasize this, the built-in search. So this might come in handy. Maybe you received an invitation from somebody to an event. You can't remember exactly when it was, but you can click on that search field and you can search for, really narrow it down, who it was sent from. All right, so this is going to prevent you from going back to each month looking for something. Just click the search and your drop-down arrow. That'll let you narrow it down. Well, who sent it? Well, let's see. Let's see if I can find something from Lisa Berry. Yep. There's all the invitations I received from her for Lunch and Learns. Okay? All right. All right, do I need to pause for a minute? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me pause. Let me give you 2 or 3 minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. Or if you need to step out, get a drink, or use the restroom, do that. And then we'll continue. Yeah. That's true. The last thing I wanted to show you, and they've just tweaked this within the past week, reminders and tasks, okay? I don't know if any of you were aware or use these, but you used to have to toggle between reminders and tasks. You would have reminders displayed, and if you wanted your tasks displayed, you have to right-click on it and choose, say, switch to tasks. Okay? The interface has changed now so that automatically reminders and tasks, you can have both of those displayed at the same time. All you have to do is just, of course, check them, and that way, remember how we had that tasks in Gmail where you could quickly create a task? If you have tasks checked here, then you would actually see those appear here as well. Okay, and we also have the same side panel in Google Calendar that we did in Gmail. And this side panel also came within the past week. It came to Google Slides and Docs and Sheets. Yeah, that's very recent that this has hit those as well. Okay, so reminders and tasks. And whenever you create an event, if you have both of these checked and you go to create an event, if you double click or just select it, see what you can do? You have out of the office, reminder, or task, or appointment slots. I'm not talking about appointment slots today, but you could set a reminder or a task. Now, basically, the tasks are pretty much to-do lists, okay? That could be helpful for you, whereas reminders are similar, but you can set them to reoccur over time, all right? So notice if I choose a reminder here, I can set that to all day, or I can specify a time, and I can say whether or not that repeats, okay? So if we know every Friday I got to do this or this, well, just set yourself up a reminder to do that, all right? Now, if it's just something that you know you have to do that day, you don't need it to repeat, then that's going to be a task. Feed the dog today. All right, let's get out of calendar. I'm done. I'm done. All right, Google Drive.
Please tell me there's a better way to maneuver.
Okay, a better way to maneuver or what else?
Searching things, like
Deleting stuff.
Are you having trouble deleting things?
Well, it just gets so much comes in, it's just trying to stay ahead
Well-
of deleting everything. It just, because you get it from everybody.
Okay, so you're talking about things that are shared with you.
Yes.
Okay, well, keep in mind, things that have been shared with you, you don't have any control over who shares what, right? And you don't have to stay in the shared with me section, all right? You have no control over that. I mentioned earlier that if sorting through all this stuff is your goal, you can add things inside the shared with me folder, add it to your drive. That doesn't make a copy. That essentially like maybe makes a shortcut to it in your drive so you can organize those shortcuts. Now, if the owner of that file deletes or removes your access, you won't see it anymore. All right?
I just kind of figured that out.
Oh,
Figured out.
we're searching. All right, we're going to get to searching.
Okay, good.
Okay, and we can actually start with that. And this is something that I know a lot of people have trouble with. When they get all this stuff inside their drive, they're looking for it, and then they're hunting, they're looking really close on their screen. But you can save yourself some time, really, by just clicking the drop-down menu there beside search. Look here, how you can search for something. Type. I knew it was a PDF, or I knew it was a presentation. So it'll only bring back hits that meet that set of criteria. Okay? Can't talk. All right? So if I just want to look for presentations, and maybe I knew it was owned by a specific person, say Dr. Bell. All right? So I'm looking throughout my drive for Google Slides presentations owned by Dr. Bell. Anytime in trash, I'm going to check that too. All right, now if I click search, oh, I don't have anything from him. Okay? and I can,
Because sometimes if you don't put the name in, you just search and search Drive, and you don't put the name in exactly right.
That's right.
It doesn't come up at all.
that's right,
Even
that's
if-
right.
And sometimes if you put it in there right, it doesn't come up.
I've not had that experience, but I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just haven't had that. All right, so this search feature here is really helpful. Okay? Again, your type, your owner, location. Maybe it was on a team drive. You can search through those as well. Not going to really spend much time on teen drives, but those came out about a year and a half ago. Those are really, really nice at the school organization level. All right. There's been a few cosmetic changes here. They've rounded the corners of the graphics a little bit and sort of polished it to a certain extent, make it more in line with some of the other Google apps that we have. All right, just making everything look a lot similar. Again, your settings, there's your little gear icon. All right, so that's how you get to your settings. All right, this quick access bar that you see here on mine, if you don't have that and you want to get that enabled, go to your settings. Okay, what that is, that's going to be like recent files that you've worked on that you want to appear there. If you click on your gear and then go to settings, you'll see a little option. All right, and yeah, it's under suggestions. And if you check that, make relevant files handy when you need them in quick access, you want to check that. And then refresh your page and then those will appear.
Is there a way to decide which ones, okay, like
No.
have certain ones that they're on?
Yeah, that would be nice.
It tends to be the ones that I keep pulling up.
Yeah. Well, for that, I would say star. Yeah, I mean that's the easiest way to do that, in my opinion. So, like, any one of these. This one I actually have starred. You can see what my starred looks like. You can star a folder or certain files. So again, a star is just like a favorite. So if I'm in my drive and there's a file, there's a certain file or folder that I use on a regular basis, if I want to not have to hunt and search for it, all I have to do is choose it, and then I can right-click on it and choose Add Star, or I can click on the dot menu here and choose Add Star, and if I do that, I know I can always come over here to Starred, and I'll be able to find it in there. Okay? And then recent there appears as well. That's also handy. You see that on the left-hand side. So if it's a file you just worked with on one computer, and now you switch to another one, you want to pull it back up, go to recent. That'll pull it up there for you. See, these are all the files I've worked on recently. If you come to the game Friday, you'll see some of these. Okay? Come back to my drive. You can also drag and drop from here as well. And one way I've found that's a little bit easier for me to move files is to expand my list of folders on the left-hand side. Watch this. So if I've got my drive selected and I click the arrow beside it, there's all my subfolders. See that? Now over here, I can actually take a folder and drag it into there if I want to. Okay? But be careful. Be very careful here. You can share a folder or a file by just right-clicking on it and then choosing Share. Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome. So you can, You can, yeah, it's a right click. Okay? And you can also move content without dragging and dropping quite easily too. And maybe you knew this, maybe you didn't. But if I've got a folder here, let's see if I can find one. Okay. Here's a PDF. And if I want to move this, but I don't have much confidence in my ability to drag and drop successfully, so I want to be very deliberate and intentional about moving it. So watch what I can do. I want to get this to a certain folder, so I can right click on it and look, move to. And then from here, yeah, this gives me a little bit more control. I can just open up the folder I want it to go to and then just say move here.
If you have a folder that belongs to you and you share it to someone else, and then you trash your folder, does someone else get to keep what's in the folder?
If you've trashed it
If I trash my folder.
that you shared with somebody,
Yeah, I don't want it anymore, but the other person still wants the stuff on it. Like if I did something and I shared it with you and I'm the owner.
yeah, I would say if it's in your trash, has anyone done that?
You can, no, but you can change documents to say.
Well, yeah, I knew you could do that.
So that might be the way to go.
Yeah, and do you know how to change ownership?
Well, just because I've got two different accounts.
Okay.
I've got two different Gmails, so I've got some stuff in one account that I really like to pull over, and some stuff that I did on one, I want to put in the other one.
Okay. I'm gonna say no, but I could be wrong. Yeah, but if you wanna, that's a good question. If you wanna transfer ownership of a folder to somebody else, so they have full rights, they can do anything that they want to it,
And you really don't need.
and you don't need any more. That's right.
That's what
The process, it's
if you deleted it, might delete it from their app.
That's what
yeah,
I'm
and I think
thinking.
it probably would. I've not done that.
They might be able to see it, but maybe not.
Yeah. So here's how you would do it.
Okay.
Again, you're just gonna right click and you're gonna go to your share settings. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and then you're going to type in the name of a person. All right, so I'll just do my principal here. Okay. And I'm going to choose advanced. And I think I have to send it first. Hold on. Yeah, you have to share it first, and then once it's been shared, then you should see the option to make them the owner. Okay?
Not in this place though, not here.
Hold on.
I can look.
You don't see the make owner as an initial option when you go to, so it has to be first shared with them, so click send. Okay. All right, then now close out of this.
I'm already in it, but I haven't accepted it.
Okay, you have to accept it first on that end. And then once you've accepted it, then you can be designated as the owner.
Okay, and
Okay.
then that would be the way to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Also, these are new features here as well. Whenever you go to share a file or folder, look down at the bottom. You can prevent editors, these are people you've shared it with, from changing access or adding new people. All right. Also disable the option to download, print, and copy for commenters and viewers. All right, so if you have those checked, you're more or less locking it down a little bit. There's ways around some things, like you can always do a screenshot, right, to capture content, but it's not in its editable form. It's not as easy to if you have these checked here. Okay? I just wanted you to be aware of those options. Okay? All right. Search synced. Yeah, we moved to a new backup and sync. We dumped what we had used last year. It was just called Google Drive, and we've moved to backup and sync, which is basically the same thing. It's just been rebranded. All right, and Glenn has pushed this out. You won't see it on these computers here, so you'll have to look up on my screen. But any computer that has backup and sync running, you will have access to it right there under computers. All right. See on the left-hand side, computers. All right, I've got my iMac in my room, and then this MacBook Pro. So wherever backup and sync has been installed, whatever files I told it to back up, I can access those files. This just tells me what computers were backed up. Okay? Well, you don't have that on your drive? You might have to. Yeah, that's your backup there. Yeah, now you can actually configure what is backed up in Backup and Sync, and let me show you again. You won't have it on these computers, but if I click on the Backup and Sync icon up there at the top of my screen, and I do want you all to pay close attention to this. This is kind of important. Right now I have Backup and Sync paused because the process of backing up is sort of intensive, and I'm recording a screencast and also trying to teach as well, so I don't want to slow my computer up. But if you need to change what is backed up from your computer or what you want taken from drive and brought onto your computer so that you can work offline, you'll want to go to your Backup and Sync settings. All right, so that's going to be right there. So if I click on the little Backup and Sync icon, which you all can do on your computers, and then you go to your preferences, okay, you all won't, yeah, you'll see my MacBook Pro, I can tell it what I want to back up, so it's going to back up everything on my desktop and my documents and pictures. All right, I can also choose a specific folder if I have it somewhere else. All right, so that's what's on this computer that I want to back up to the cloud. The next tab down, Google Drive. So if I have Google Docs or presentations and things that I want to be able to work on offline, if I lose connection, all right, I could choose to sync those files so that I'll have local copies here. Okay, that's where this would come in handy.
But it's physically on your computer, not necessarily
Yes,
on
it-
your drive.
Well, no, it's still in Drive, but it makes a copy of it right here for me. All right, and so if I lose connection to the internet and I'm working on a Google Slide presentation, the copy is right here. But the next time that connection is established, it'll sync up with that. Okay, and that can be very useful, especially with what we've had here recently dealing with, yeah. All right, and then the last, I know you have a question. The last one here under settings, this is where you can disconnect your account. And you also have the option to back up USB devices and SD cards. All right, so that option is down there at the bottom. If you check that, anything that's plugged in, it'll automatically copy all that stuff too. All right? That's Backup and Sync. Yes?
I had to look at the cloud icon, but now I don't have it here.
You said you
I had it, but then.
had it, but now it's gone?
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
That means it hasn't been set up yet. That's fine. It's like people who've had-
Well, you may have had the Google Drive icon. Was it the cloud or was it Google Drive?
So I just need to go look and make sure it's turned on. Yeah.
And then,
Okay, here it comes. There we go, now it's syncing.
Evan had to back up my computer or something, or update it.
Yeah.
And, then it disappeared.
Okay. Well, if it does quit, you can always relaunch it from the apps.
And I have access to that, there's no access bill or anything.
Right,
I
right,
mean, it's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, there's really not that much to Backup and Sync, but it's a very useful utility. And again, we should have all that installed on our teacher computers.
So you can't do anything about it until that's on there, right?
Well, you can't control it unless it's configured and installed on your computer. So it should be, now you're not going to see it on there. These are student machines. But on your, do you have a laptop or is it a desktop machine?
Laptop.
A laptop. Yeah, you should actually see it. It was pushed out by Glenn.
It was pushed out, but I noticed, well, I've had to set them up. Like,
Oh, really?
if they're not opened up, then sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't automatically set up.
Okay, that's a,
Because Matt's is on his, but
But it wasn't set up for the first time? Okay. That's a good point. If you don't see the backup and sync cloud up there, it's likely in your applications folder. You just need to run it once,
A lot
the
of
first
them
time.
show the old
Okay.
drives.
Okay, so it shows the old drive. Okay. So you'll need to go to your applications folder, right? And I'll show you where we'll find them on mine. Here we go. I'm looking for applications, and then should be up at the top there. Backup and sync. Yeah, there it is. Backup and sync from Google. So you just double click on it to launch it. Okay, that's in your applications folder. And if it's not there, if you don't see it there, you can install it and you don't need any admin credentials. You can do it through FileWave. All right, that's that little, looks like a little red flame. You'll have this on your computers. That allows you to install software without having any credentials. So you just choose install software and you'll see, there it is. You just click on it and it'll install. Okay? Glenn set this up so that people wouldn't have to rely on a building level tech to get some of the more common applications installed on their computers. So just know that, yeah, you can install stuff yourself. Install software. It's called the FileWave Kiosk. Okay. Almost done here, y'all. Let's transition over to, let's see. Let's go to Docs. Docs.google.com. I'm just going to start with a blank page here. Remember I told you earlier about that side panel? Here it is. We're in Docs. So you can quickly access your calendar, keep, and tasks here. Okay. Let's do something fun, and I know my elementary teachers will really like this. All right, let's make a little list here. Maybe my high school teachers will like it too. Okay, so I have, yeah, 3 items here. All right, let me increase the size of my list so we can see it a little bit better. Even bigger. Okay, so we all know how to make bulleted lists, I'm sure, right? You can choose from numbers or bullets, and if you want to make a list, bulleted list after the fact, you just select your items, and then you can click on your numbers or your bullets, right? But did you know there's a way to customize your bullets so you can have them be little pictures? I know. Yes, it can be done. Here's how we do it. You're going to select items, click on Insert, Special Characters, look at symbols, arrows, emoticons. Okay? And you could actually insert, this doesn't have to be a bulleted list, but you can insert these things quite easily. You just go Insert and then Special Characters. And here's a handy feature. Let's say that there's a specific symbol you're looking for, but you wouldn't know what category it fell into. You could actually draw it here. Watch this. I'm going to draw E with a little... Look at that. So it'll interpret that and it'll give me suggestions. Oh, is this what you're looking for? Yes, that's it. And then it'll... Yeah, see? This was worth the cost of admission just to learn this. Okay?
What would happen if you drew a Sasquatch?
I don't know. Why don't you try? Now let's see if I draw a smiley face. Look. All right, and then of course, if it is something that was inserted here, the way you enlarge it, not like a traditional picture, you would have to increase the font size. Okay, so, and you can actually go larger than what this will allow. So see, it says 96, but if I wanted to go, say, 200, see, you can actually make it much larger. This is useful if you need to make signs or posters. Okay, you can go much larger if need be. Okay?
Can I ask you a question about
Sure.
slides? When you do slides and you, the sheet, when you print it off, the sheet doesn't go all the way to the edge or as big as it looks
Doesn't fill the
on the
page.
screen. It has like an extra border. And so the actual size is smaller than
Well,
the actual.
Yeah, what you probably want to do is you're starting from a page setup that's widescreen. So you want to tell Google Slides, hey, change my page setup to 8.5 by 11. All right, so here's what I mean. All right, so
Because you're customizing it.
yeah, so if I go to Slides, that's a good question. All right, and if I start with a blank presentation here, right, as you can see, that's widescreen. You go to print it, all this extra space here. Well, if I go File, Page Setup,
You can change it to landscape.
I could go, well, standard 4x3 or custom. Right, we know.
If you change to print it on landscape, wouldn't it be better that way? If you didn't print it.
See, now this is going to be, see what that did? That's portrait. But if I wanted it the other way,
Change it to landscape, you should fix it.
yeah,
It's still,
I could go 11 by 8.5.
but I still think it does go to the edge.
Well, a lot of it has to do, what do you mean it's still?
It has a border
It has a border.
around it.
Okay, well, a lot of that depends on your printer too. A printer has to have the capability to print all the way to the edge, and most of them, at least the ones I've seen here, don't. Okay, so
It's made us the printer then.
it might be.
I've tried all that and it,
Now, I would make changes here, and then when you go to print, see if you have the option in the maybe in the print dialog window to maybe enlarge or zoom. You might have some flexibility there. Okay. Another thing I wanted to show you, and that is how you actually can move. And this comes in really handy when you're working from a template. So if I go back to Docs, and we use templates a lot here, especially when it comes to purchase order request forms. So I've got a lot up here. Here's a PO request. So anyone that's been made as a template, if we click on it here, it basically what it does is it makes a copy and it puts it inside your drive. If it's a template, right? It's in your drive then. But you want to actually move it from there while not getting out of Google Docs. So you can do that. All you have to do is click on File and then Move to. See this? So this will allow you to actually put it in the folder you want it as you continue to work on it. Okay?
You can't make it.
You can also click on that little icon up there and see Move to. And you'll have the same options. You just go to the folder you want to put it in and then click Move. And then that way it'll be organized. Okay? Whenever you close out of it. You just won't have a ton of files just residing there in My Drive.
Can you make a template that like students can only put into certain places?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you mean one that will appear here up at the top?
I don't know, like if I wanted to make something like that and wanted them to fill it out.
Oh yeah, I mean this right here.
Changing the arrangement.
Yeah, this was done with. See what I've done is I basically created a table that allows them to type in it without messing up and pushing everything over. You know, you see that a lot where somebody will make a document and then they do the underlines, then you type on it, and then it pushes the line over. A way around that is to create a table and then just adjust the borders on the table. So it's, and I can make a little walkthrough tutorial on how to do that, if that would be helpful. Yeah, I'll work on that for you. Yeah. Moving files. Oh, another great one here too, folks. Emailing a file directly from within it. All right. So let's say I needed to send this to our bookkeeper, and I wanted to send her a copy quick. File. You may not have known this was here. Email as an attachment. Right there from within Docs. So you don't have to save it out as anything. You can just email it straight away. So watch, if I choose this option, email as an attachment, it's going to be a streamlined workflow where it just takes a doc. In this case, it'll flatten it, make it a PDF, or it'll convert it to another format, and then I just compose the email and then send it. Okay? And you'll see that in the other Google apps too.
Now, when they open that up, because I did that to send my son his resume
Yeah.
on my computer.
Yeah.
When he opens it up, does he just see the resume, or does he click something else to open it up? Does it open automatically, or does it?
Well, it's probably like a regular email, right?
Yeah, just a regular email. Yeah. So
But he has to click.
you have to click on the attachment to open it. Yeah. 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 You know, I use Google Drawings quite a bit, and
I like Google.
and I've found that
One question about Google Drawings.
yeah.
Can you have more than one page?
Can you have more than one page?
If I fill that page up, I can't make a page two. You know, like a second page.
No. No, it's just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, one canvas at a time. Yeah. This is something I wanted to show you because when it comes to adding things to your Google Docs or Slides presentation, you have a little bit more flexibility in terms of creation in drawings than you do from within the app. And so I want to see if I can pull up something that I've created recently here. Okay. So here is, oh, here we go. So this was, I was playing around with a new Alcoa football helmet. All right, these are just different shapes and stuff. And I thought, all right, so if I wanted to get this into a Google document, I would have to first file, save it out, download the copy, and then insert it. That's not the case if you publish it. Okay, so watch how we do that. If I click on File, and then choose Publish to the Web, all right, I'll click Publish, and then it's going to give me a share link. I'll copy that. Then I come back here. Let me do a new document here. Then I want to insert a picture. Image. Help me out. Where do you think I'm going to go?
What are you trying to do?
URL. Watch. Paste in the URL. Okay? So there's the picture that I published. And the reason why I'm going that route, okay, so here's my Google drawing, all right, that I've, and this could be anything, all right. This allows you to create drawings and keep a collection of them. See, the reason I'm doing this is because if you try to insert a drawing from here, you have to create it. You can't pull something that you've created in the past.
Right.
All right, so
I want to use one again.
right. So I would come here. I would choose Publish to the Web. All right, I would get this URL. All right, the address of it right there. You have to first publish it. I already published it. And then once you've copied it, you come back to your Google Doc, insert image by URL. Paste it in, and there it is. And then from here, you can actually, you have some things you can do from in here. You can crop it.
So where is that then? Is it
It's in your drive. Yeah, your Google Drawings are all in your drive.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's in your drive.
So you could use that over and over again.
Yeah.
In other.
Yes.
And you would have to read the drawing.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay?
So how do you go to the drawings without going through your docs, or is that?
You gotta go to the waffle,
That top waffle.
Well, you can type in drawings,
top waffle.
open up a new tab and type in drawings, or click on the
Top waffle on the left.
top waffle. I don't think you're seeing it there.
It's there.
Your colored waffle. It shows it there on the left.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't look like it's,
Oh, mine.
I think it's there.
So are you saying, Tom, that you can't pull that into a doc unless you publish it?
That's right. That's right. You can't add a Google drawing unless you've published it or you first downloaded it.
If you don't publish it, is it in your drive?
Yeah, it's in your drive. Yeah, it's just as a drawing. Yeah,
Drawings don't show up.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you put, there you go.
Okay. And if you don't know how to do something in any of these apps, there are some great help options available to you. And they're all there. Just click on Help, Docs Help.
Yeah.
All right? If you want to suggest a feature, Help, Report a problem. And the problem could be, hey, I wish Docs did this. Get with it here and enable this. Or, all right, that's how you would do it. All right, just know the difference there. Okay, last thing we're going to cover, and that's Google Classroom. I had a couple things I wanted to show you there. Obviously, you've probably seen the new interface. Things are a little bit different than what you're used to. All right, you now have 3 sections here. You've got your stream, your classwork, and people. All right, that's different from what we had last year. And when this update was made, I think there were some people that weren't too pleased with the changes because there were some key features that were omitted. And I let them know about one in particular that I wish they would bring back, and I'm glad that they did. And I can direct your attention to that. Let's navigate over to the classwork page.
Do we have to be in your classroom?
No, you can be in yours.
Mine doesn't have classroom.
Okay, all right. Here's the deal. If you don't see the classwork page in your class, to get it on there, in the lower left-hand corner, you see a question mark. Click that question mark, and you'll see the option to, at the bottom, add a classwork page. Okay? All right, you're welcome. So that basically takes your old class and it brings it up to
It
date.
says it was the old about page.
Yeah, yeah.
Good to know.
Okay? So in the classwork section, you'll see this new button where we've got the option to make an assignment, a question, and this is brand new material. This only hit last week. Remember the resources page that we had last year where you could, post things? Came in very handy.
Hold on, where are you at, Tom?
Okay.
Under classwork?
We were in ClassWorks, Steve, and then we click Create.
They took what it was in your stream.
All right? So if this is for your class, if you wanted a section of maybe a syllabus or maybe a presentation you did,
Okay.
all right, some supplements that you don't want them to have to hunt and find, you can post it directly to your class. That's what material will do. Okay? It's the same thing as resources. And topics, that's a great thing too, in my opinion, because you can have all your units organized by topic, and so it just makes it easier to keep track of stuff. All right, so everything can be assigned to a specific topic, and a student doesn't have to search for everything.
For classroom material, I went ahead and put I put websites that I want my kids to go to so they can click.
Yeah.
I go through all that.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, website links, that's a good thing to put in there. Yeah, and you can put in, look at the type of things that you can put in there as a material. It can be a file that you have on your computer, content from your Google Drive, a YouTube video, a link to a website. You can assign a topic. Okay? Very handy. There is a new grading tool that came, and I found a really good, it's 2 minutes. I want to show you all it, if I can. And yeah, I posted it right here. Let's watch this real quick. Alice Keeler, she does a lot of teacher training. She's going to show you what the new grading tool looks like in Classroom. All right, so let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, she's getting there. Where are you?
Click on classwork,
There we are.
click on turned in. These are the students who have turned in work. I can click here on the tile, or I can click on their name. Either way, when I click on the document, it's gonna open in the new grading shelf.
This is new. This new grading shelf over here.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Control-Alt-M inserts a comment. Control-Enter saves it.
You don't have
If
to
you
remember
want,
the
you can come over
shortcut.
here to the comment bank, and you can add a new comment.
This is nice. The comment banks that you can quickly pull from.
Add.
You can add to.
So when I come back, so now when I want to add a comment, Control-Alt-M, if I type a hashtag, it brings up the comment bank, so I'm able to add comments from the comment bank. I can give them a score.
Give them a score
I want
here.
to use rubric scoring, so I'm going to click on these 3 dots. I'm going to change the total points so that it's out of 4. Change. Now while I'm looking at student work, I'm able to add a private comment.
That's much better in terms of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Post. It's important for you to return, or students won't be able to see their rubric score. Return. And then I can use these arrows to go to the next student.
See that?
It's much easier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to keep switching. That's right. You don't have to keep switching back and forth. It's really nice.
Return. And I can click on this drop-down arrow to move to a different student, so I can choose who I need to assess next.
That's a pretty big feature right there. Okay? The new grading tool. Okay? And there is one other thing coming. It hasn't hit yet. You'll like this. It's called Create Quizzes in Locked Mode. I'm going to read the description because I haven't seen it yet myself. Create quizzes in locked mode. Teachers will be able to use locked mode to keep students focused and distraction-free when taking Google Forms quizzes on managed Chromebooks. So basically what that means is if you have a set of Chromebooks and you assign the quiz, when their quizzes are open on their Chromebooks, it locks it. They can't get out of it. All right? That's going to be helpful when it comes to making sure there isn't any cheating going on. All right? So that is coming. It's not here yet. I look forward to seeing that. Okay? Question?
Has it put anything out yet? So like when the kids are on their Chromebooks, that teachers can see all the Chromebooks at one time?
Oh yeah, that's actually, I mean, we're continuing to talk about that right now. That's something I've been saying for a while we'd like to have. We actually do have something right now that we could push out, but it is painfully slow. I mean, the thumbnails that it generates, it's about 3 minutes behind. Okay? It doesn't really do any good. You know, some of these kids.
That would be really.
I know. I agree with you.
While you're on one side of the room and the kids see you coming, or they toggle, they just want
I
to
know.
toggle from one screen to the other.
I know. That's on our radar for sure. Okay? Folks, I think that pretty much covers all that I wanted to go over. I'm going to go ahead and enable the test that you guys can take. Hey, look, this is open book. You knew it was coming. Yeah, open book, open forum, help each other. I want everybody to do well on it. All right, so let me come back here. All right. And when you are finished, you are free to go. If you'd like to stay and pick my brain, that's fine. I'm happy to stay.